Well, let's just look at this one right here. Biden and Trump, a tale of two presidents with COVID. This time things are different. You don't say. But let's just get into the article here and see how they twist some things to make Biden look good and Trump look bad. It goes, Joe Biden isn't the first U.S. president to contract COVID-19. That dubious honor goes to his predecessor, Donald Trump. But this time, things are different. Biden is fully vaccinated and boosted, and yet he still got it. When Trump tested positive in fall 2020, vaccines weren't available and treatment options were limited. They were limited because the press didn't like him and Democrats didn't like him, but anyways, Trump was given an experimental antibody treatment and steroids after his oxygen levels fell dangerously low. He was hospitalized at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for 3 days. They probably wish he had died, but that's the left. Death rates have fallen sharply since Trump contracted the virus, primarily because of the arrival of vaccines and advances in treatment. Never mind the fact that the variants that have come out have been in general less deadly as well, but let's ignore that part. That doesn't fit our narrative. Go on. More than 1 million Americans have died from the virus. Majority have been under Biden, which is still killing an average of 353 people in the U.S. every day, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. The unvaccinated are a far greater risk, over 2 times more likely to test positive and 9 times more likely to die from the virus than those who have received at least a primary dose of the vaccine, according to the Public Health Agency. Biden is experiencing mild symptoms and taking Paxlovid, an at-home antiviral therapy that has been available since December for patients who are 12 and older and are at high risk for severe illness from COVID-19. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with President Biden. Dr. Jerome Adams, who is the Surgeon General when Trump contracted the virus, told USA Today. But he is in a much better situation based on all the data we have available to come out with this, so with little harm in the long run. The Biden White House appears to have been far more transparent about Biden's positive diagnosis than Trump and his aides when he tested positive. Like how they kind of do this part. After months of downplaying the severity of the virus, Trump announced his positive results on Twitter just before 1 a.m. on October 2nd, 2020. His chief of staff, Mark Meadows, later revealed in a book that Trump had actually tested positive days earlier, on September 23rd, 3 days before a presidential debate with Biden. Trump tested positive the same day he held a Rose Garden ceremony in which he announced he would nominate Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Trump subsequently took another test and got a negative result, Meadows wrote. So which one is it, positive or negative? I know early on there were still a lot of things of false positives. Remember that? So it was one of those things, does he come out and, now I'm negative, now I'm positive. Now, I mean, come on. This entire thing is written to Orange Man bad, really. The White House never disclosed Trump's initial positive test, and Trump denied that he was sick before the presidential debate, calling the report fake news. Biden officials, on the other hand, had been raising the possibility for weeks that he could eventually contract the virus. Biden had tested positive Thursday morning, shortly before his diagnosis was announced. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement. A few hours later, the White House released a 21-second video in which Biden reassured the nation. "It's going to be okay," he said. Jean-Pierre was emphatic that the differences between the administrations at Thursday's briefing, we are doing things very differently, I would argue, than the last administration. Jean-Pierre said that she and COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha have not seen the president because they are following CDC guidance while he isolates. We believe getting direct information, pretty much detailed information, from this letter that we, in a transparent way, share with all of you on how he was doing, and we have committed to doing that every day. Notice what they don't tell you is, right here, BA.5 is highly transmissible and less deadly than the original. Now, they completely ignore that part of the virus. Now, we've had Omicron, BA.2, 2.12, 2.12.1, XE, there's BA.4, and now BA.5, and each one more transmissible, and it seems to be, in general, the symptoms are less, and it's not quite as deadly and stuff like that. And they're comparing two different variants as well that they don't talk about. They completely ignore, which really is you're giving kind of false information to people to boost one guy over the other. Make one guy look bad, your guy look good. I don't know. What do you think about all this? I'm just like, okay, yeah, he got it, whatever. Everybody's going to get it apparently at one time or another, and you're probably going to get it multiple times over your lifetime. Now, even if you get vaccinated and boosted, we're going to continue getting it. Now, let me know what you think. Grid7, I'm on YouTube. Come on over to Rumble, and I'll see you next video.